Hi, my name is Nishtha and I'm from College Dunia. And today we have Dr. Yogesh Dubey, who is the chairperson PGP at IIFM Bhopal. So, welcome to College Dunia, sir.
Thank you so much.
Sir, we would like you to give a brief introduction about yourself.
Okay, I'm Dr. Yogesh Dubey, and I'm a faculty member at the Indian Institute of Forest Management. And for past year and a half, I've been working in the additional responsibility of the chairperson of the PG programs, where I'm taking care of both the academic programs of the institution, postgraduate diploma in forestry management and postgraduate diploma in sustainability management. These are the two programs, academic programs that we, at the PG level, we run at the institute.
Sir, what is your philosophy of leadership and how would you describe your leadership style?
Lishna, because we work in the area of natural resource management and we are mostly working with the natural systems, we are working in the area of sustainability. This is an area that basically works on the model of collaboration and partnership. So my idea of leadership is always to collaborate, to partner, and very strongly believe in the principles of equity and equality, which is extremely important. So that is how basically I perceive leadership, that if leadership has to be provided, a true leader must be willing to collaborate and create partnerships, because innovation and solution to the ecological and environmental problems that the society is facing today, whether they are in form of climate change or they're in form of crisis of water or waste management problems across various parts of the country, if they have to be resolved, collaboration and partnering is the mool mantra for effective leadership.
Sir, being the chairperson PGP at IIFM, how would you strategize the marketing and administration plans for the institute?
So my job is to keep eagle's eye on the market and be an attentive like an owl in the night, who is all the time looking at what is happening in the surroundings. So we keep a complete tab on what is in demand in the industry and how to keep our curriculum abreast and fill our curriculum with the elements that are actually required by the industry in the market. So that is what our job primarily is. And we also keep on interacting with the industry on routine and regular basis to keep finding out as to what is contemporary. In our teaching also, we include a lot of people from the industry. A lot of practitioners come who are part of our teaching programs. So they are able to give students a real life scenario as to what is going on and what is happening. So that is the way by which we actually remain connected with the industry and are able to provide very, very meaningful curriculum and very contemporary curriculum to the students from batch to batch.
How does the curriculum of IIFM ensure the best practice in the industry?
Yeah. So this question is again connected to your earlier question. Now, as in part of our both the PG programs, whether we talk about postgraduate diploma in forestry management or postgraduate diploma in sustainability management, we have a very strong component called as summer internship. It's a 3-month component where the students actually go and work with the industry. Apart from this, in the sustainability management program, we have a component of 8 weeks that is called as industry project. And in the forestry management program, it's being called as project work. And then we have a 2-week field work exposure. So of this 21-month program, almost 6.5 to 7 months is the duration that each student is actually spending in the market, in the industry. So that is how, we are able to inculcate that, because these best practices have to be used by the students. And because they are part of the organized curriculum in form of summer internships, in form of industry projects. So that is how we ensure that the best practices are included in our teaching programs.
So what are some of the greatest strengths of IIFM?
Coming to the greatest strength of the IIFM, our biggest strength is that our programs are multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary in their approach. there are very few places in the country where you would be able to get an admix of variety of subjects. So whether you are a graduate in humanities, or you are a graduate in history, or you are an engineer, or you are a dentist, or you are a doctor by your qualification at the graduate level, or you've studied forestry or basic science or applied science, you get an opportunity to study all kinds of subjects here at IFM, which is a very rare phenomenon in country like India, because if you've done your graduation in zoology, you only get to do your post graduation in zoology. So students from language, from humanities are able to study some of the contemporary subjects of climate, environmental science. Students are able to study the subjects that are related to the development management. A art graduate can study even conservation and livelihood, I mean, if that student is interested. So that has been our biggest strength, that we provide an opportunity to students who want to change the course of their life after graduation and want to do something where they would be able to get an opportunity to study, which otherwise in a conventional education system, that opportunity will not be given to them. So multidisciplinarity and interdisciplinarity are the biggest strengths, and our faculty is also spread like that. So we have faculty members from people who specialize in ecology, to people who specialize in human resource management, to finance management, marketing management, strategic management. So almost everything that is being taught in a conventional B school, we have all those faculty areas. And apart from that, we also have the sociology and community development faculty area, we have ecosystem and environmental management, and we have technical forestry faculty area as well. So all of us then, collaborate and partner together to provide the best possible package in terms of what a student can aspire of. So this flexibility in terms of being use of multidisciplinarity and interdisciplinarity is the biggest strength, according to me, for the IF.
So what are your roles and responsibilities being the chairman, PGP at IIFM?
So my primary responsibility is to ensure that the program administration is being done very, very effectively. All terms are being taught bang on time, the exams are being conducted bang on time, the results are being declared bang on time. And if there is a specific need for getting some expertise from the market to be included as a part of the course, so as a PGP chair, it's my responsibility to keep hunting people with exceptional talent who can add value to the courses in our programs. So I keep finding those kinds of people. My additional responsibility is to also hold webinars and keep connecting students, because in these times we are holding classes in an online mode. So we have a regular feature almost every month. We get two leaders from the industry who come and talk to our students and tell them about what is happening in the market, what is the kind of knowledge base, what is the kind of preparation that they must do before they pass out from an institution like IFM and they are ready to join the industry.
What are some of the biggest challenges you see for higher education in general and for the institute?
The biggest challenge in the modern times is the cost. The cost of the higher education is skyrocketing. So this is one of the biggest challenges of the higher education. As far as the institution like IFM is concerned, we are an autonomous institution under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Government of India. We are funded by the MOEF CC, and we are a publicly funded institute. So we are at this point of time under no stress, and hence we are able to provide quality education at a much affordable price. I mean, our fee structure, we figure out in the list of management institutes, but if you compare a fee structure is almost 1/4 of what any other management institute in this country would be charging as in fee. And we are able to do this only because we are a publicly funded institution. So I personally do not see any challenge as far as the higher education is concerned. I mean, as far as the IFM is concerned. But yes, in general, the higher education in India is becoming very, very expensive and is perhaps getting beyond reach for most of the commoners. And they have to eventually seek help from banks and take those fat loans to pay up their fees.
Any insights that how is the institute more welcoming to students from economic backgrounds?
So there are two things. One is that our institution is being listed as an institute of excellence under the Ministry of Social Justice, and where scholarships, full scholarships, are being provided to the students belonging to the reservation category of scheduled tribe and scheduled caste. So those students can apply to those scholarships, and if they get those scholarships, their entire tuition fee, their entire staying expense, their hostel and mess charges, plus a cost of a laptop, that much is being borne by the government of India. So many students are able to avail that kind of facility. Secondly, we have 20 merit-based scholarships in the institute. So 20 students of the program are able to get up to 5,000 rupees of assistance within the institute. Apart from that, as I said in the beginning, that since our institution works in the area of natural resource management, and the very basis of natural resource management is equity and equality. So the culture that we have in our institution is that of social inclusion. It's an inclusion-based culture, which is strongly rested on the deep philosophies of equity and equality. So hence, people from all walks of life, people from all streams of life, everybody is welcome to the IFM campus without any element of discrimination. I mean, that has been, I must say that we are extremely proud of this, that we have been able to appears ever since we have come into the existence.
Sir, how do you tend to establish a healthy relationship and environment in your institute?
We have several mechanisms, and one of our key strengths has been out-of-class engagement with the students. So there are multiple opportunities that are being created for students to remain in touch with the faculty members. We have a system of mentor and mentee, where every faculty member has 3 to 4 students who who are their mentees. They remain in touch with the faculty members beyond classes. We have a system of student affairs council, where we have several activity clubs. They are well-funded clubs. Institution invests money in these clubs, and almost every year, almost close to 15 to 20 lakh rupees is being given as an annual budget only to the student clubs, where students are involved in different kinds of activities. So there is enough space and scope. In fact, if you see the architect of this institute, the institute was designed by one of the very famous architects of the country, late Mr. Anant Raje, and our building has received President Award several times. So the whole architecture of building itself is openness, opportunity, intermixing, intermingling. That is the broad theme so building has several spaces where they promote that the faculty members would be sitting and spending time with students outside the classroom. So that is how we are able to maintain a very, very healthy environment in the institution, as far as the students are concerned and their interaction with the faculty members are concerned.
So what are the institute's priorities over the upcoming 10 years?
See, our biggest priority is to remain meaningful to the society. And that should be the biggest priority for any institution. The sector that we deal with is a dynamic sector. It keeps changing every now and then. The problem of the climate change, the problems of the pollution. I mean, whatever your city is this year will not be next year. There is going to be a variation in the monsoon. There are issues with the waste management. There are a large number of environmental, ecological, and social issues that people across cities, people across rural areas, semi-rural areas, peri-urban areas, communities living by the side of the forest. So it's a dynamic and ever-changing scenario. So our biggest priority is that we, all the time, we remain meaningful to the society, and we keep contributing, keep producing the brigade of young managers, whom we very proudly call as the brigade of green managers. who would be able to take up this cause of sustainable development, take up the cause of natural resource management, natural resource conservation, because ultimately the survival of the human society is based on these natural resources only. So if these natural resources are not conserved, if these are not protected properly, they are not managed properly, all the luxuries that we think of that come to us from market in form of either cars, in form of air conditioners, or in form of fancy garments, or in form of all kinds of gadgets, probably will stop coming. So that is what is our top priority, that we always remain meaningful to the present day society.
Sir, any message you would like to give to current youth and aspiring students?
I always say, follow and chase your dream. Do not run the rat race. Rat race has become a very common race, and everybody I keep telling youngsters that do not run the rat race. Have the conviction and courage to follow or tread the path that is full of challenges. Because the people who tread the path of challenges are the people who are able to innovate and are the people who are able to very, very meaningfully contribute to the society. And back at IFM also, one of the primary teachings that we give to a student is not to be part of the rat race. Follow your heart. If you have a dream that you want to chase, please do so. So that is my message to the younger generation.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time and sharing your thoughts on education with us.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you so much.